Picking a programming language to learn can feel overwhelming with so many choices out there. I get it. You open up Google, search best programming languages, and all of a sudden you're drowning in articles telling you to learn everything from Python to Rust to some language you've never even heard of.
Best programming languages.
Best programming languages.
It's overwhelming. So I did something different. Even though I've been working in tech for 20 years and hired hundreds of engineers as an engineering manager at Meta, I also know that tech trends change fast. So I'm not going to just share my opinion. Instead, I went straight to the source. I analyzed over 250 real job postings on Indeed across 10 of the most popular tech roles to see what companies are actually hiring for right now. It's not just what online lists claim is trendy. And what I found might surprise you. It surprised me for sure. Some languages that everyone talks about barely show up on the list, whereas other boring languages are everywhere. And the salary differences are pretty significant between roles. So let's break down the 10 hottest engineering jobs, the programming languages companies are actually looking for each role, and how much they're willing to pay for them. We'll go from the lowest to highest salary. But first, let's talk about the big question on everyone's mind. Is AI replacing coders? You might be thinking, should I even learn to code if AI is going to replace me? And yes, tools like ChatGPT and Copilot are impressive, but they're not replacing programmers anytime soon. Instead, they're changing what programmers do. Kind of like calculators, they made math faster, not useless. So even if AI handles basic coding, you still need people who understand the fundamentals of software engineering, who can design systems and know when AI gets things wrong. And of course, someone has to build all these AI tools and improve them too. So how do you choose the right language to learn? The trick is not to start with the language, but to start with the type of job you want and the type of life you want. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. What does your typical day look like? Are you in an office, working remotely from a coffee shop? What kind of problems are you solving? Are you building apps that millions of people are using? Are you analyzing data to help companies make better decisions? Are you working on the cutting edge tech that might change how we live in the future? I ask these questions because every tech job is completely different day to day. So don't just chase the highest salary, though we will definitely talk about those, but think more about the work that you'll actually enjoy doing. And if you're not sure what each role is really like, check out my other interview videos where I talk to people from different specialties about what they do day to day. And the big takeaway is this: start with your goal, which will make choosing a language so much easier. But the catch is that just knowing a programming language isn't enough to land a job in today's tough market. And that's why we're partnering with Zero to Mastery for this video. The Zero to Mastery focuses on hands-on learning where you can build real-world skills in AI and machine learning project by project, because it's the best way to learn because you're applying what you're learning in real time. But what really sets them apart is the community. When you join, you get exclusive access to a community of over 500,000 students and experts learning together, answering each other's questions, and helping you move faster, especially when you get stuck. This is one of my favorite things about Zero to Mastery because this will save you hundreds of hours Googling, watching random YouTube tutorials, and just trying to piece it all together on your own. You'll get the structure and the support. And I'll share key skills for each of the roles along with recommended courses as we go through them. Let's start with the analyst roles like business analyst and data analyst. These are usually great entry points into tech because they focus more on understanding business problems than complex programming. So the barrier to entry is a little bit lower. So business analysts work with companies to figure out what they actually need from their technology. They're sort of like the bridge between business side and the technical side. And by the way, I coded a quick website where I can add job listings from Indeed and export a table of actual skills to do this. So for the business analyst role, the top skills that companies were looking for was Excel, followed by SQL and Power BI. So you can also download the full PDF on my website in case you want to look it up later. So the number one skill was Excel, and you probably know Excel. It's for spreadsheets. Number two is SQL for managing and querying databases. And Power BI is a visualization tool that lets you create dashboards and visuals. The median salary in the US for this role comes in at $110K according to levels.fyi. Now, data analysts, on the other hand, take raw data and turn it into insights that help companies make decisions. If it sounds similar to business analysts, it is because they are. 70% of all postings also ask for Excel, followed by SQL and Power BI. They also make around $110,000, so the skills do overlap a lot between the two roles, and the salary range is also similar. If you're interested in these analyst roles, I would recommend checking out Zero to Mastery's Business Intelligence course and their SQL Bootcamp. Links are in the description. Next up is security engineers. They are the people keeping hackers out of your bank accounts and protecting companies from cyber attacks. What's cool about these security roles is that it's not going anywhere even with AI. We are going to need security engineers even when things are automated. As long as we have computers and the internet, we'll need people to protect them. The top skills are firewalls, Linux, and CISSP. Linux is an operating system like Windows or Mac. Many tech companies use it because it's more secure and customizable. The median salary here is also $110,000. And unlike most tech jobs, this is one of the few roles where certificates actually do matter. If you're asking what certificate should I get, this is the one career path where it actually adds real value. For 99% of other jobs, you don't need a certificate. There are many skills to learn for cybersecurity. It's a highly technical role, so if this interests you, take the Cybersecurity Bootcamp, which covers everything you need to get started. Next is another popular type of role, web development. And this job is exactly what it sounds like. You build websites and web apps. Now, there are two main areas when it comes to web: backend and front end. Backend development is all the behind the scenes magic, like when you click buy now on Amazon. The backend systems handle your payment, update inventory, and even send you confirmation emails. Based on my research, the top skills companies want are AWS, cloud technologies, and Kubernetes. The median salary is $182,000. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. It's basically renting Amazon's computers to run your website instead of you buying your own servers. Kubernetes is a tool for managing lots of different applications running at the same time. Now, I spent most of my career working on the back end and never really used AWS since the companies that I worked for ran their own servers. But the good news is that these skills are highly transferable. So if you want to get started with AWS, check out this class. Now, the front-end development is what users actually see and interact with. It's the buttons, the animations, the layouts, and all the things that make websites feel intuitive and look aesthetic. The skills in demand are React, CSS, and JavaScript, with the median salary a little bit higher at $195,000. And this is how the three skills fit together. CSS is like the decoration part for the website. It controls things like colors, fonts, layouts. JavaScript makes things interactive, where you hover over a button, it changes color. That's JavaScript. React makes JavaScript more organized and efficient, especially for complex websites. Personally, I never really enjoyed moving pixels around on a screen, so I stayed away from front end and I did back end. But if you're someone who loves to see things and love design and aesthetics and building great user interfaces, this could be a good fit for you. You can check out this React course and this CSS and JavaScript course on Zero to Mastery. Now, if you're interested in both front end and back end, there are full stack development roles. Companies like this role because you can work on any part of their product. I think in the future, as AI gets better, tools are letting one person do more. So more full stack type roles where you do a little bit of everything will probably be more popular in the future. Top skills are React, JavaScript, Go, and AWS. The median salary is $160K. Go is a programming language developed by Google that's really good at handling lots of users at the same time. So if you're building the next Instagram and need to handle millions of photo uploads, Go can make that possible. But it is more of a niche language, so I would stick to learning React and AWS first, and you can take the courses I recommended earlier. Next are data roles. Data's everywhere nowadays and companies are drowning in it, so they need all kinds of roles to manage their data. If the companies are bigger, the roles are more specialized, whereas at startups, one person might wear multiple hats. First up is data scientists who use math and programming to find hidden patterns in data. Maybe they discover that people who buy coffee on Mondays are more likely to buy pastries too. So the coffee shop starts offering Monday pastry deals. Top skills for this role are Python, SQL, and machine learning. And they earn a median salary of $170,000 a year. Python is probably the most beginner-friendly programming language out there. It reads almost like English, designed to be logical and readable. Machine learning might sound intimidating, but at its core is just teaching computers to spot patterns. And the good news is that not all data scientists actually use machine learning. In fact, only about 57% do. So if your goal is to land a job quickly, you could focus on other skills first and then come back to machine learning later. This is a great Python course. Data engineers build the pipelines and systems that collect, store, and organize data so data scientists can analyze it. They do a lot more programming and rarely touch machine learning. Their median salary is $155K, and top skills are Python, SQL, and data pipelines. And here's a great course that teaches you all about data pipelines and everything else you need to become a data engineer. Finally, we get to the roles everyone's talking about, AI and machine learning. These are the people building the ChatGPTs and recommendation algorithms of the world. AI engineer is relatively a new role, so the exact responsibilities can vary a lot. I do have another video where I do a deeper dive into AI versus ML roles, so you can watch that video later if you're interested. Top skills for AI engineers are Python, machine learning, and LLMs. The median salary is $160,000. We've already covered Python and machine learning in earlier roles, but LLM, short for large language models, are a type of machine learning that specializes in generating human-like language. Machine learning engineers focus on the core development of the models. They also do research and build cutting-edge systems. So to put simply, AI engineers are the ones applying these tools to real products, whereas ML engineers are the ones creating and refining the tools themselves. And the titles can vary by company. Again, if it's a smaller company, you might do a little bit of everything. The median salary for ML engineer is the highest we've seen so far, at $250,000. Top skills are Python, PyTorch, and TensorFlow. People often debate why Python gets all the attention for machine learning, and the reason is pretty simple. Way more companies use Python in the industry. Around 66% of job postings ask for Python, whereas only 38% ask for C++. Plus, Python offers powerful tools like PyTorch and TensorFlow, which are also popular in industry. These tools let you train and deploy machine learning models without starting from zero. If you're interested in AI or machine learning roles, take this all-in-one course by Zero to Mastery. Now, if you've made it this far, drop a done in the comments and tell me which programming language you're learning or planning to start learning. And if you want to dive deeper into the differences between AI and machine learning roles, check out this video and I'll see you there.